Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today. Wherever you are in this great world, we're gonna talk about XRP. And I should have mentioned this in that previous video, coming from smoke. It's all coming out. Democratic leader aiming to pass crypto legislation by the end of this year. JP Morgan predicts stablecoin bill to pass before the election. Russia, international cryptocurrency transactions and CBDC starting end of 2024. UK stablecoin legislation end of 2024. Fair market value of crypto revealed end of 2024. MiCA crypto regulation full implementation in the EU end of 2024. Bull cycle underway. Now, think about it like this. We're going to have crypto running up at the same time these things are going to be happening. This could easily take us into a super cycle or possibly a massive utility run. Now, the one thing that I'm really focused on here is the fair market value of crypto being revealed at the end of this year. Because these utility-driven cryptocurrencies, there's no way they should be valued at the prices they're valued at right now. XRP should be easily sitting at a much higher price. If I had to put a price on it, it should be at least $5 plus already. And I'm really anticipating what the fair market value looks like. And that's going to affect XLM, XDC, HBAR, and the rest of these utility-driven cryptocurrencies as well. But that's all set to still happen this year. SEC hints at easing SAB 121 restrictions. I meant to mention this in that previous video as well. In a recent speech, SEC Chief Accountant Paul Munter hinted at easing the Staff Accountability Bulletin-121, SAB 121 restrictions, which initially limited banks from providing digital asset custody services. Munter outlined exemption criteria that would allow bank holding companies and introducing brokers to bypass the SAB 121 requirements, such as obtaining state regulator approval and conducting risk assessments. While large national banks remain largely restricted, this move is seen as a positive shift for the crypto industry. And now that the SEC is saying that these cryptocurrencies are no longer crypto asset securities, but commodities, I don't see why the banks should not be allowed to custody crypto. Do you know how big that would actually be? All of a sudden, you could be storing your crypto at the bank and getting FDIC insurance on your crypto. However, I don't think FDIC insurance means a whole hell of a lot anymore. Donald Trump says we're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind. Now, when he says something like that, he's talking about a new financial system coming. He's talking about how XRP can move the US dollar in a matter of seconds at a very cheap price. But Trump knows what Ripple and XRP is. As I've said, Trump took over Ripple. It was repurposed for good. Ripple couldn't have been happier. In plain sight all along. Remember, Ripple went from the media darling pre-2017, then something changed. One of my favorites mentioned in the report for digital assets by Steve Mnuchin for Trump's Executive Order 13772. Now, that executive order was vetoed by Biden. The problem is is that we were already put on the path towards a digital dollar already. Records also reveal Ripple CEO met with senior Trump administration official in 2018. Now look at what they were talking about back in 2018. It sounds a lot like 2024. There's clearly a lot of homework going on. The White House in particular seems to be thinking about what it means to have 80% of Bitcoin mining taking place in China and the majority of Ether mining taking place in China. When you look at XRP, there is no mining. So from a foreign control aspect or from an environmental aspect, XRP is a very different beast. And in conversations we've had with the administration, they seem to get that. And they think that might matter. We're in regular talks throughout Washington, and we met with regulators as well as politicians. We've got a whole team that's devoted to doing that, not just in the United States, but worldwide. Now that was 2018, and that was when Ripple was also meeting with the SEC, and they were being fully transparent back then. And then this happened. Jay Clayton met with Trump just 2 weeks before Clayton sued Ripple and left the SEC. I wonder what they discussed. Now, most likely, they knew Ripple and XRP, they were pushing full steam ahead. In 2018, XRP achieved a new all-time high. It was on the path to hit $10 plus in 2021. But before 2021, Ripple ended up in a lawsuit with the SEC. Now here we are in 2024, and it seems like the rest of the world is caught up. In fact, the rest of the world seems like it's far beyond the United States when it comes to CBDCs, digital money, digital transactions, crypto innovation. The rest of the world is leaving the US behind. So now the US has to catch up with the rest of the world. If banks are going digital with XRP and they want you on a CBDC, why would they allow you to opt out through Bitcoin? It doesn't make any sense. It just feels off. That comes from the crypto philosopher. They're not going to allow you to opt out through Bitcoin. Now, the Bitcoin maxis would say, well, the US government is holding a shit ton of Bitcoin. Why would they ever get rid of Bitcoin? You're talking about the US government that's racking up a ton of debt every single day. Do you honestly think they care if Bitcoin went to zero or not? I don't think they care at all. Now, if the US government was holding a ton of XRP, that would have me worried. And here's why. Say XRP is having a decent run up, and all of a sudden, the US says, that's it, we're going to dump this XRP. And now the price of XRP comes plummeting down. And at the same time, they say, okay, we're going to put a law in place that you can no longer use XRP at all in the United States. Let's put regulations out there that say that, because that's how the US works. If there's something out there that is going to interact with something that they want, like a central bank digital currency, they are just going to get rid of it. They don't care if they hold it or anything else. That's why I always said that the US holding all that Bitcoin is not a good idea. Agenda 2030 requires a digital control grid. In cash, we don't know who's using a $100 bill. With CBDC, the central bank will have absolute control. Take a listen to this.
A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
They want to change what cash is forever. They don't want cash at all. But I still think we are going to have parallel systems for a period of time. You're going to have fiat, you're going to have CBDC, and most likely the crypto rails. Because it makes sense to have a third alternative for the rich people. Remember, the rich people are not going to be living under a CBDC. But why else would they want to do this? Think about what's going on right now. More and more people are pulling their money away from the traditional banks. They're getting their money invested into gold, silver, crypto, anything that has value, because they know the US dollar is continuing to lose value. So under a CBDC, they can control the money altogether. You don't have a choice if your money ends up at the bank, your central bank digital currency, because it will go into the central bank and it will never leave the central bank or your traditional bank. The money will stay there forever. You'll just be shopping with numbers instead of actual money. And they always put out these articles to make it look trendy. 85% of Gen Z prefers digital payments to cash. So you see right here, digital wallets, the new norm for millennials and Gen Z. Cash is losing its dominance as digital wallets become integral to young consumers' financial lives, with 85% of Gen Z and 82% of millennials preferring contactless digital payments. The demand for these technologies is reshaping the payments industry. Traditional cash transactions are being replaced, with 24% of U.S. adults now favoring digital alternatives. The shift is not a fleeting trend, but a transformation, driven by the convenience of digital payments. 94% of banks are planning to invest in modern payment technologies. Now, I told you before, my bank, they want to do away with debit cards altogether by next year. They want you to be on a digital wallet, and that's Fidelity Bank. Other banks are also pushing in this direction because they want you to get used to a cashless society. And eventually, we are going to see a cashless society. It's just a matter of time. I think it's most likely 2 years away, maybe 3 at the most, because there's going to be so many incentives not to use cash going forward. But the other reason that they want you on a CBDC instead of cash is because when it comes to tax money, there's no avoiding the taxes. The taxes will be collected in real time. And that's going to give them 100% control. I'm not a fan of it, but I know it's already happening. Trump announces he will slash the cost of a new home by 30 to 50% and will open up new tracts of federal land owned by the government to build more affordable homes. I've been a builder my entire life, he says. I understand the problem and I will fix it. Now, there's a couple problems with this that I see. Number one, you don't want to give up federal land to build low-income housing because eventually that's what that will transform into. Because over time, if people are living on UBI and losing their jobs to AI, it's all going to be universal basic income housing. And there's a lot of empty houses out there already. So here's what I see happening. If he was to cut homes by 30 to 50%, what about the people that bought the top? All of a sudden, whatever equity they have in their home, it will be gone. It will be wiped out just like that. But I think that's going to happen anyway, and here's why. I think we are going to see the housing bubble pop. I mean, really pop. I watch a lot of people that aren't in crypto that talk about the housing market. They say we're going to go all the way back to 2005 prices. That's what they're predicting. There's videos all over YouTube. And they're saying that it will go to that price point for a short time. Then it will gradually come up a little bit, but we will never get back to where the prices are right now. So if that was to happen at the same time, think about it. The commercial real estate market plummets. The banks, they come crashing down. Massive liquidity crisis happens at the same time. Because I don't see the Fed bailing out the banks this time around. Same reason that the FDIC was talking about bail-ins. Then the commercial real estate or the residential real estate market will come crashing down as well. So they're going to need a fix to this. And the fix is going to be the new financial system. And as the new financial system rises, us as XRP holders, we are going to get very rich. So if you're thinking about getting into real estate, that would be the time to do it. Because not only would you have the money because of your XRP being so valuable, you would also be buying the bottom. And even if we don't see the residential real estate market collapse, I think they are definitely going to revaluate it at some point. Everything is going to get revaluation. Whether it be under the traditional financial system, the current financial system, or the new financial system, a revaluation is coming. But until it all happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.